All right, time to go over the second player we get to keep in some variation of purple. And he comes in at 5'10", 191, 31-inch arms, 9-inch hands, 4'4", 40, which was 12th at the combine, 17 bench press, which was 7th, 37.5-inch vert, which was 5th, 124-inch broad jump, which was 14th, and a 7.26 3-cone, which was 15th. So, the player himself, his man coverage skills, I think he's a little loose at the top of his breaks in off coverage, but I appreciate just the stickiness to trail and how smooth he is in transition off of the line of scrimmage. And he snaps his hips vertically, which is really nice to see. He's combative, he squeezes receivers effectively and crowds the catch point by just, feeling pending breaks to the body. His zone cover skills, I think he shows good, he has a good comfort in just, passing off routes through his vicinity and not getting overly ambitious or anxious, sort of like selective aggressiveness, so to speak. He shows a good range and ability to sink and drop underneath patterns layered behind him. His deep third range is plentiful to stay just over the top of receivers. His feet, they're very active, clean, and they're very sudden. So all very good words to associate when you're talking about corners. And I wouldn't describe them as necessarily elite though, but they're certainly high end and the pedal, and it shows good patience to hop off of the line of scrimmage and just stay square to mirror potential just hard breaks when he's playing up on the line. His ball skills, he's kind of had more ball productions as the years have gone on. So on a year-by-year basis, his ball production is increasing. I think he has a nose for the football that just at the catch point. He does well to work his eyes back to the ball as the hands flash, which is really good and keeps pass interferences from happening. He takes good angles to the catch point and just kind of body flush and just reach through for the ball. So he's constantly just trying to get to the ball, and he does it effectively, which is good. Once again, just avoiding flags. His flexibility, really dynamic hips here, and it's just effortless. And just to throw his hips and legs open, he just kind of gets vertical, and he can carry routes or stay leveraged in opportunities to bail off of the line of scrimmage while also eyeing the quarterback. Shows good hip drop to collect and redirect in space, which is really good. His acceleration, super quick, and he definitely has the recovery speed just to play on an island, like if you're talking vertically. And I think his explosion on bucket steps is a tad bit hollow, and it kind of negates chances to jump routes working back to the line of scrimmage. But plenty of juice in just straight line situations, and he builds on that speed well. So I don't think it's going to be hard for players to run by him. Obviously, there are the Tyreek Hills of the world that run by everybody, but this isn't going to be a problem like we were having with Xavier Rhodes in 2019, where it was every receiver that just runs vertical on Xavier Rhodes has a 45-yard gain. I don't think that happens with this guy. And his spacing, he will attempt to bait some throws by just kind of lagging off, but typically has his eyes ready and kind of reacts to the ball if it is, thrown his way. Quick to work into the body as he can pattern match, bunch and release or stacked receivers. Short areas quickness will kind of bait the passers, which is kind of goes back into that just acceleration point. He can plant that foot and go, which I really like to see. He's kind of got a scrappy attitude though, which I really do like that, and he kind of brings a certain swagger to it, right? When you kind of playing on the perimeter. Functional strength and ability just to kind of physically dictate in the press is good, but not elite or great. I don't think he's as much of a bully as he thinks he is at times, and versus kind of the more bigger X builds, when he's going against those, it doesn't work out quite as well. But I don't think he's bad. It just isn't some elite trait that he has. So his run support, he is willing and able. I don't think he has elite length, and he's not really a booming hitting power guy with that kind of consistency. He's not really a big hitter. He's not a guy you expect that out of him, but he is a sure wrap-up tackler who will he will consistently get his body and his hips aligned behind his pads and ensure he's not just kind of like a little blip on the radar. He will bring you down, which is typically a big Zimmer selling point with his corners. You have to tackle, or else he doesn't want you. So, and just speaking of general tackling, I like his efforts to kind of close down on the edge and position himself just to square up ball carriers. Tackle radius is solid, just thanks to his foot activity and his short area quickness. So, kind of helps mask some of the length problems he has, just because of how quick he is and how fast he can cover ground. And overall, I think this is an instant starting player, and I think he goes to a system that uses a lot of what he does best, which is man coverage. And I think this is really good because, personally, this is the corner I wanted. I know I didn't do nearly enough draft profile videos, and I apologize for that. But this was the corner I kind of wanted in the realistic world. I know everyone was on Jalen Johnson, but this was my number 3 corner right after C.J. Henderson and Okudah, because those two were by far 1 and 2. And after that, I felt like people kind of had varying. But as of right now, the 3 starting corners would be Hughes, Gladney, and Hill. And I think Gladney and Hughes both have nickel capabilities. And Minnesota still can draft more corners potentially, because they still could use some bodies there, but I don't think they necessarily need to find a starter in the draft now. Well, another one. And you could potentially look at free agency after the draft too, because they do have they hired a new secondary coach. He coached with the Bengals the last 2 years, and then the 2 years before that he was with the Miami Dolphins. And why that's important is because you have Darqueze Dennard, who's from the Bengals, as well as Dre Kirkpatrick, who's from the Bengals, who are both free agents right now. And from the Dolphins, you do have a safety in Rashad Jones, who was just cut, that he coached back in 2016 and 17. So I think we could still see some secondary upgrades even after the draft. But I really like this pick. I think I'm more excited about Jeff Gladney than I am Justin Jefferson, just because this was the guy I kind of wanted from the start. And the fact that they got him at 31 after they gained a 4 and a 5, great maneuvering. I kind of question the Jefferson fit. I don't question this fit at all. I think he, for the most part, is a press man corner, but he also has zone capabilities, so he doesn't limit you, and he also has some nickel capabilities. So all of a sudden, you have some things here. And I would like to know what you guys think of Jeff Gladney here. Down in the comments. And liking and subscribing, always helpful. Until next time, I bid y'all adieu.